Okay. So very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone from wherever part you are joining in from. Welcome today to this webinar on navigating the future of LMS trends for the year 2024. I am thrilled to be part of the host for this session to have this exciting exploration into the evolving landscape of learning management system. Uh, so before we actually deep dive into the discussion, let's take a moment to introduce our esteemed panelists for today.
I
Let
suggest to put the recording button on, right? I think recording has not
It is already on.
on. Fine, that's great.
Yeah, it
Then we
is
can
actually
proceed for
getting
the
streamed as well.
recording.
Sure, sure. Yes, Mr. Pankaj. So let's kind of get started with quick introduction to our esteemed panelists for today. So I would want to introduce Mr. Pratap Malladi uh, to start with. So he's a seasoned digital and data strategist hailing from the dynamic realm of MarTech. With a robust background in marketing analytics and business development and Scrum certification, Pratap brings a wealth of expertise to this table of panelists. So his proficiency extends across both technical and functional domains, showcasing a versatile skill set that sets him apart from rapidly evolving landscape of digital marketing. As a strategic thinker, Pratap Malladi leverages his in-depth knowledge to deep dive impactful solutions, making him an invaluable asset uh, in navigating into the complexities of the modern business landscape. We are very happy to have you on board, Mr. Pratap.
Hi,
Yeah.
Pratap. Welcome to this session.
Hello.
Hello.
Next to our panelist is Miss Vicky. So it's an absolute privilege to introduce her to this panel and to this event for today. So Vicky Liknamanov, a prominent figure in the industry. So Vicky hails from George Mason University, where she serves as a adjunct professor. But that's not all. By the day, Vicky is a full-time computer vision engineer at Vectech, an AI company, which brings a wealth of expertise in the Python analytics and, of course, computer vision to both her academics and professional pursuits. Again, we are
Thank
delighted
you.
to have Vicky on board as a panelist today. Welcome to the panel, Vicky.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Uh, Now, moving to our third panelist for the day, renowned for his expertise in analytics skills and education technology and integration, Professor Dr. Pankaj Kumar Mishra joins us from Global University Saharanpur. As a pro vice chancellor, Dr. Mishra guides the academics vision of the university, shaping future generations with his keen understanding of both education and technology. His research and innovations have earned him recognitions from leading institutions, and his dedications to enrich learning environment is truly inspiring. We are fortunate to have you on board as a panelist today, sir. Welcome to the panel, Mr. Pankaj.
Right.
Yep. Moving forward, before we delve into the discussion and the trends, what the agenda, what we want to discuss about, I just want to draw attention to a solution called as Adroit LMS, a cutting-edge learning management system that we have been keenly designing and making waves in the industry for its AI capabilities as well. So Adroit LMS is designed to seamlessly integrate with various education models, providing a user-friendly interface, robust analytics, and personalized learning experience. So I would want to encourage all the people who are a part of this session today to kind of go ahead and explore the LMS and its capabilities after we conclude our discussion today. Now, quickly, let's move on to the discussion of the day, the LMS trends for 2024. We have carefully curated questions for our panelists to share the insights and expertise. So without further ado, let's dive into our very first question to Mr. Pratap. So, Mr. Pratap, with your expertise, right, like in AI be used to recommend relevant learning material course and resources to students based on their individual needs and interest, prompting self-direct learning and like personalized learning path. So what is your thought about this?
Yeah. So before that, thanks for the quick intro about me and about distinguished panelists. Hi to all once again. So to put across about me in a very high level before getting into the topic, as Bart said, basically I'm a seasoned marketing strategist and business development professional with almost 15 plus years of experience in cultivating high value partnerships and driving business growth across diverse industries such as telecom, mobile, media and entertainment, ad tech, edutech, high tech, and consulting firms. So my expertise lies in leveraging technology and data to craft innovative marketing solutions that deliver a strong return on investment in the digital area. So my proficiency areas are more of business growth, data-driven insights and marketing analytics, because transforming complex data into actionable insights. During this tenure, I'm skilled in utilizing a range of tools and technologies, including MS Office Suite, Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, Tableau, Tag Manager, SQL, Python. So I'm also adept at ChatGPT prompt tinkering, and proficient in project management tools like Jira and Trello. Uh, Aside to this, yes, I believe that knowledge sharing is always caring. Okay, so keeping that in mind, I have delivered insightful sessions at esteemed institutions such as ISCTM Business Schools, Jaipur Institute of Management, Tapasya Educational Institutions, and what more like basically. So the only thing what I believe more is let's drive success together is what I believe in truly. And yes, Parth, coming to your questions, yes, certainly. See, AI can play a crucial role in recommending relevant learning materials, courses, and resources to students, thereby promoting self-directed learning and personalized learning paths. So this approach is often referred to as a personalized learning or adaptive learning, where AI as a system can analyze individual students' data and preferences to tailor educational content. So if you want to see some of the use cases or on this line, we can say like interest-based recommendations. So what is it? By analyzing students' interests and hobbies, AI can recommend courses on learning materials that align with those interests, basically. So, for example, if a student is passionate about space exploration, let us say, the system might suggest physics courses related to astrophysics or space sciences. Then we have another use cases across like cross-disciplinary connections. So AI can identify connections between different subject areas and recommend interdisciplinary learning opportunities. For instance, we can say like if a student is studying environmental science, the system might suggest related courses in geography, biology, and economics to provide a completely a comprehensive understanding of the topic. So, okay. Then we can also think about the personalized learning path, basically. So, where AI can step in here is they can analyze students' learning history, preferences, strengths, and weaknesses to create a personalized learning path for him, basically. So, for example, you can say like if a student is excelled in mathematical concepts, but struggles with the language skills. So the AI system can recommend more advanced math courses and additional language support resources for the student wherever required. Okay. Then on the similar lines, it's all the way it's going with media and entertainment recommendations, what you call adaptive content recommendations. So AI can continuously adapt its recommendations based on the student progress and performance. So if a student demonstrates proficiency in a particular subject, the system can automatically suggest more challenging materials or advanced courses in that area. What I feel is now the other part is like more on real-time feedback and assessments. So AI-driven assessments can provide real-time feedback on a student performance. This information can be used to adjust the learning path dynamically. For instance, if a student is struggling with a specific concept, the system can offer additional practice materials or alternative explanations where the student can deep dive in and know the concept. So just to conclude on this, to conclude on the above, by consider we have multiple cases evolve, right? So we are seeing, so leveraging AI for personalized learning definitely allows education institutes to cater to the needs of each student, fostering a more effective and engaging educational experience path. That's all from me.
Great insight, Mr. Pratap. It's actually true. Like, yeah, so that's one of the capabilities what we are also trying out in our solution, that we are promoting AI to uh, kind of like curate certain contents which are related to certain learning path, and then it kind of gives us a set of questions which are related to particular topics as well, which kind of goes into the internet and like search for content which are relevant for the topics what we are searching for, or we are kind of curating that goes into. So that's a very good insight, and that's a one capabilities what I think most of the institutions and most of the solution providers are also looking into. Uh, thank you for that great input. Now, moving forward, I have my second question to Ms. Vicky. I would want to ask you, with the rise of micro learning and shorter attention span, how should LMS content be structured to maximize engagement and knowledge retention among the learners?
Well, think of the LMS as really a storage and a support platform for, all the asynchronous part of your course. And think of it, your course could be fully asynchronous, but most of the time we are talking of some sort of mix between synchronous and asynchronous elements. So when I first started using an LMS seriously, other than it being that annoying thing that was there to do something, but nobody could figure out what exactly it was, my students were in love with the pause and rewind buttons. Why? Because they kept telling me, hey, you know what? We can actually hear again and again and again. So in general, when I started seriously using that, I realized, or I was told that, hey, you know what? If you post a video, it cannot be longer than 10 minutes, preferably shorter. So what I have found very, very, very important, even as having the LMS just as a support to a real life face-to-face class, is putting bite-sized material that is there, text accompanying video, because as you know, we all have different learning styles, right?
Yes.
Again, text being a couple of paragraphs at most, video being 5, 6, 7 minutes, no longer than that. That just goes over and over and over the main parts of the main ideas of the course. So putting in the effort to distill the main ideas of each class, which shouldn't be more than 2 or 3, right? It's not like we are, conveying a whole novel during one class session. And having them there, and also anticipating what the main questions are. So obviously, if you have taught a course more than once or twice, you know what the questions are. So being there proactively and giving those short answers online helps a lot. And then obviously, all of that's supported by some sort of chat function that the students can go online and actually, hey, you know what, can you say that again? Because, it's students. That will happen, right?
That's
so again, it is a great opportunity. And as you build your course over time, over multiple deliveries, several short videos, really no longer than 6, 7 minutes, that are there to answer questions, emphasize the main material, and then as a second priority, give more and more examples. So that would be my approach to it.
Amazing. That's actually fascinating to know. And thank you for like those insights and your expertise as well in that field.
Thank you.
As an educator itself. Now I would want to direct my next question to Mr. Pankaj. So, Mr. Pankaj, with your understanding and your expertise in this particular field, so what do you think are the recent advancements or trend in the learning technologies, or which has made the most significant impact on the evolution of LMS platform? You're on mute, Mr. Pankaj.
Oh, well, it's a very good question you have asked.
Sure.
And I would like to start the answer that very beautiful line, that change is the rule of nature, right?
Yes.
So everywhere you have to accept the change.
Yes.
If you are not with the change, if you are not with the time, if you are not with the technology, you will leave behind, like, right? So as everywhere across the world, you can see the technological changes are going on. And still you believe that only one formula, that is one frame fits to all. It will not be justified. If you want your institution to be aligned with the top, technology, if you are not going to adopt the technology, if you have the resistance and resilience over there, you could not survive in this world. Second thing is what the fast, invention throughout the technology like AR, VR, and many other things are coming up. Student choices has been changed. Students are more advanced than anybody of us. We termed ourselves as a baby boomers, and the students are basically the G generation students. So this G generation students are being taught by the baby boomers. So what happened? We have our own set of understanding. We have our own ideal. We have our own gurus. If we remember myself as a mathematics teacher, and when I'm going to teach, I remember my ideal guruji who was teaching in the way chalk and talk and only other style. But
Yes.
this is a high time where the students are not having that much patience to attend your 1 hour lecture, to attend the to see 1 hour videos and all. You can divide the entire world as AC and BD, after COVID and before COVID. So AC and BC put the two categories. So after COVID, entire new world, new normal has been introduced. And BC was the before COVID. So entire world has been changed after AC, that means after COVID. And still you have a resistance that you are not going to adopt the technology, you will not survive. So my point is that, and humble submission is that everybody should, all the institutions should adopt with the technology. And how you will adopt the technology, how you will circulate the message through WhatsApp, through the Gmail, it doesn't look good. So you should have a kind of platform that is termed as LMS, which is to be used. And of course, as the Zeltas and other companies, Androids are working very well to adopt and include the artificial intelligence over there so that every data, every informations could be reach us to the decision makers like me as a pro vice chancellor. I need to see the behavioral changes also of the students. So it's really great to see that various solutions, various edtech solutions are coming over there. But very important that the kind of acceptance to the technology is very, very important. That's my take on it.
Very valuable insights, sir. Like, you're definitely coming with the expertise and experience you are having with your field. I think those are very good insights for people to learn from as well.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Pankaj. So I'll quickly move on to Mr. Pratap again with my next question. So, Mr. Pratap, so again, coming back to your expertise in this field, right, like which is analytics. So how can an LMS platform utilize analytics to predict student performance and identify at-risk students? So and like probably recommend personalized intervention, like which we spoke about previously as well, to improve their learning outcome.
Okay. See, there are like kind of wide angle examples, the way LMS can leverage analytics to predict student performance, identify risk at students, and recommend personalized interventions.
Yes.
So overall, all this enhances learning outcomes, the benefit of the same. So a few examples fall on these lines. For example, let us say first take data collection and analysis. So LMS platforms can collect vast amounts of data, like which includes student engagement, assessment scores, participations in discussion, time spent on tasks or projects, and more. So that analytics tools can process and analyze the data to identify patterns and trends. Okay. So on this similar lines, because they're predicting analytics for performance. So LMS platforms can forecast student performance. For example, if historical data shows that students who consistently engage with discussion forums tend to perform better, the system can predict a student's likelihood of success based on their forum participation. Then the other thing comes into the picture is that early warning systems. These platforms can implement early warning systems that use analytics to identify at-risk students before they face significant challenges. So, example on this line is, for instance, if a student's quiz scores have been consistently declining over a few weeks, so the system can generate an alert to prompt timely intervention. Okay,
Yes.
so then, which is very, very important, like identifying learning patterns. So analytics basically can uncover the individual learning patterns by analyzing how students interact with the different types of content. As you know, like, right? So if a student excels in a video-based, for example, let us take, like, if a student is excelling in a video-based lessons but struggles with text-based materials.
Yes.
So what the learning management systems can do is they can recommend more video content to cater to their preferred learning style.
Exactly.
So the other line in this case is like social network analysis. So LMS platforms can use social network analysis to understand the relationship between the students, identifying collaboration patterns and influential figures within the learning community. For, for example, if a particular student is frequently sought for help by peers, the LMS might recognize them as a positive influence and encourage collaborative learning.
True.
Got it, no? Then yeah, the final thing is that basically intelligent feedback and recommendations. So more on this line. So the platforms can provide intelligent feedback to students, highlighting the areas of improvement and wherever suggesting relevant resources. For example, like if a student is consistently scores low in a particular topic, the system can recommend supplementary materials, practice quizzes, and additional support wherever required. So on overall, if you are considering in a university using a platform, LMS platform for an online course, so what I mean is analytics can reveal the students who consistently engage with course materials, participating in discussions, submitting assignments, time tending to perform better. They can use predictive analytics, identify a group of students who have shown a decline in engagement over the past week or 2 weeks. So, and can generate a early warning system alerts for instructors, enabling them to reach out these students, understand the challenges, and provide additional support or resources to help them that they can stay on the track. To conclude with Parth.
Yeah, makes sense actually. Like that's something which I can relate to as well, because that's something which we have been also working on. We have something called as GAT analysis, which is part of Android LMS. What we have created. So GAT analysis, what it does is it kind of analyze the pattern of learners. If the learner is a tactile learner, if it's a visual learner, so it kind of gives the educator an idea that the majority of the students in the class are visual learners. So the content can be curated on that particular format. And exactly, we also kind of do adaptive assessments as well, which kind of again kind of relate to the different students have different strengths. So it kind of gives assessment based on the strength of each student. So a lot of analytics come into play when these kind of features are being used. Thanks for that great input, Mr. Pratap. It was truly delightful to have that answer. Now, quickly, I'll move to Miss Vicky again with my next question to her. Ms. Vicky, like, what are your thoughts on using LMS to, like, again, on the base of personal learning experience for students, such as adaptive learning pathway, like for or differential instruction? So basically, you understand, like, different students have
Yeah.
different requirements. So what would be your thought on that?
So essentially, and I need to apologize here because my background is adult learning exclusively. I have been teaching in a US college for the last 14 years now, and I'm also involved into boot camps and online courses for adults that are a little bit later in life, working professionals. And the main trouble that you have in a class like that is what one would call a very different readiness level on behalf of different students. So different students come with very different backgrounds, and then you are essentially in the need to find a way to deal with that, because you definitely don't want to leave anybody behind, but then you don't want the students with a higher readiness level to actually fall asleep during your course and think, this is a total waste of time. So in general, when I started teaching 15 years ago, I was told, hey, you know what, aim for the middle of the class. And that's not what you need, especially with adult learners. Because as, again, you go later in life, the standard deviation of that readiness level becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So what has worked for me very well, but it does take quite a bit of work, is, again, to beef up the asynchronous material to class, which will allow the student who is now an adult and hopefully can decide on their own, oh, I need more help with this. So what we have done in the past, and we have had very good success, is actually providing a library of supporting material.
Okay.
So, and this can go from, hey, you know what, your Python is really weak, so maybe you should take that additional course very quickly, first 5 hours of that course before you come to my class. Or you can provide more specialized self-procured material. So again, those short videos that I have talked about. But then it becomes really the responsibility of the student to decide, hey, you know what, I really feel weak with this. Let's spend a couple of hours this weekend reading that. But having the material readily available, whether it's a recommendation or your own material, I found it helps the students a lot. And an LMS is fantastic with that because it doesn't take the instruction time away from the other students, right? So it's a huge thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think that speaks a lot about your personal experience in dealing with your students as well, and that's a very valuable insights as well, because that kind of gives everyone an understanding of, when it comes to people who are already an older age of people who want to learn, how important like LMS is and adaptive learning pathways are, which has to be implemented when using a solution for teaching those segment of people, right? Thank you for those insights, Vicky. Again, now quickly again back to Mr. Pankaj. The Pankaj, coming back to the topic of AI, so I want to drop a question where, how can an LMS platform adapt to meet the growing demand for personalized learning experience? And what role does AI and machine learning play in this particular process? So if you can give your valuable insights on that.
First of all, is with respect to all the panelists, I wish to mention one thing, that don't consider this LMS as a particular software or particular tool which just came now and we all have to adopt. Try to understand the technological changes and the behavioral changes across the world.
Exactly.
And if I talk about the context of India, we have implemented recently the new education policy. New education policy says that we all have to go and serve the classes online. And if you see infrastructure of a university, how you define the university? University should have some classrooms. University should have some staff room where faculty will sit, classroom where student will sit, one library will be there, one amusement park will be there, one canteen will be there. These are the kind of infrastructure of any university.
Yes.
What is LMS? LMS is nothing but a same kind of arrangement in an online and virtual setup. That's the only thing. If you would like to understand this thing as the infrastructure for your entire university, it will be more helpful to you, right? And second thing is what? Inclusion of machine learning, inclusion of AI to take the decisions is really miraculous. I really appreciate the efforts of the people who thought in this direction and talks about it, that why should not we can include the AI and ML over there so that faster decisions can be taken. LMS is a very old theory, and it has been established since long, many decades has already happened. But including this, tremendous terms of AI is very, very important. And the second thing, what you have told, that very, very important is what? Personalized learning.
Yes.
The biggest failure of any higher education system is what the one frame fits to all philosophy, right?
Okay.
As a private institution, I have already quoted once again. I'm quoting that for the 60 student, I need one teacher in a classroom. For
Yes.
65 student, I don't want to increase the chairs also. I assume that 65 and 60 can be accommodated. At least 4 5 students will absent. For 100 student, I think to increase some chairs in the classroom. So that's a story of the Indian higher education system. We are not, having a sufficient number of infrastructure in terms of furnitures also in many organizations, not about
True.
particular institutions I'm talking. We are fortunate enough in the local university, we have a world-class facilities. We have 1,000 acre of the campus for the student, all facilities are there. That's a different story. But in general, I'm talking about.
Yes.
So this is a high time where we think about the success of the student, and success will only enrich when we inculcate the concept of personalized learning.
True.
And personalized learning will start. Lots of echoes and ethos are about the chat GPT has came, and now the teachers will replace and things will change, robots will teach the class, many other things are there. But chat GPT, this artificial intelligence, are nothing but a helpful tool. It's kind of assistant. Why don't we understand as educator that each student has its own style of learning, its own level of understanding the things, right? If you
Yeah.
just show a picture to anybody and say, elaborate this picture. So beautiful background Madam Vicky has in using today, right? In her video. So if you give the task to 10 students to analyze this background, 10 students will have a 10 different answers, unless until they're copying and pasting the answers. But so these 10 different answers are, specifying the 10 different minds how they're working.
Yes.
So it's a high time to work with a personalized learning. And if we have the tools like LMS is nothing but a virtual infrastructure, right? Entire world, as I mentioned you, that only two worlds we have. One is AC and one is BC. After COVID and before COVID. So before COVID, I'm not talking anything. After COVID, AC, what we are living here, we all have to understand that technology is an integral part of our life. And if you want to be with the time, you have to go with the technology. Time has changed. Every philosophy has changed. Mobile is also going to change. It will come to your wristwatch, and also many other technologies will come and go, right? But education sector is still looking like an old story, like old Dadima story and all. That will not work. So we have to adopt the LMS. And fortunately, as you told that you have implemented AI and ML capabilities, which will give me more analytics. Usually, what happened as a administrator, I used to take one feedback in a semester. In one forum, when I was talking about why one feedback after one semester, why can't we have a feedback after every class?
True.
So it is possible that after every class or of every day of teaching, I could collect the feedback. But who will analyze it?
Very
Who
true.
will understand whether the class is going on well or not, and whether the feedback is analyzed just to penalize the faculty member,
True.
just to deduct their appraisals? That doesn't look good. So my point is that we could, if we could include the machine learning or other algorithms, artificial intelligence algorithm, we could have the feedback of each and every individual class also.
Correct. Correct.
Suppose in a semester we have 40 class, so why don't we have a 40 lectures? Even the faculty will have the access of that feedback, and faculty will improve upon,
Exactly.
right? And when also the learning will improve upon, why don't we this feedback would be given to the students, a smaller question, a smaller quizzes? Why to take another complete 1 hour lecture? Why can't we break our lecture just for 10 minutes delivery, 15 minutes delivery, and after 15 minutes, why don't we have one kind of question pause over there? Immediately student will answer, then he will understand. On the wrong answer they could have some feedback, on the right answer they could have some feedback. So this kind of things were never possible in the regular setup or in the manual setup what we have. So we need an LMS, we need this kind of solutions, and it is really great that people are working towards this. And it was a biggest problem And I really see happy that people are working and giving the solution. Thank you very much.
Very insightful, Mr. Pankaj. Actually, that is one of the point which we realized as well at Exaltius Academy, that it's very important to analyze the faculties as well. So we have multiple faculties coming in as well, right? Like, so it's always good that we understand that if they have to improvise at some point, and that is one of the aspect which we are working as well. When a class is happening, we not only analyze the student and their facial expression, we also try to analyze the tone of the faculty. So if it is monotonous, basically we try to analyze if it is getting monotonous at any point. So
Yes,
that is a very valuable point which you made. Like, it is very important for an educator or like an institution to analyze not only the student but also the faculty lineup as well, so that constant improvisation is happening throughout your journey, right?
just to
Uh,
add on what you told, no, like very important is what the focus of higher education institution or any education system should not only on the teaching, it
yes,
should focus on the learning of the student. It
yes,
doesn't matter that from Oxford, from Cambridge, I got PhD, or from IIT, I have completed my PhD and all. But
yes,
if I'm teaching to the student, whether my students are happy, happy in terms of what? Whether they are able to understand what I'm teaching,
yes,
right? Whether
yes,
2 plus 2 equals to 4 or 2 plus 2 equals to 5, which is important to understand, right?
exactly.
If the student is able to do the mathematics exactly what I'm teaching, is very, very important. So learning, when the learning is on your mind, when the learning is on your focus, outcome-based education is the main theme of entire education system. I'm very happy that India is becoming to a developed country. Our honorable Prime Minister has dreamed about it, and maybe on 2047, when India is going to celebrate its 100th anniversary of its independence, we have dreamed about that India will be developed. So we have termed in a Hindi like Viksit Bharat. So for this Viksit Bharat, one thing is very important. Entire economy, the Indian economy is bullish. We become the fifth largest economy of the world. Everything is great. But what about the education system? Why can't we talk about the education system? Whether our education system is also world class? No. So who will dream about it? So I am dreaming, right? That one day our education system will be the best, and we have termed as a Vishwaguru. The people from across the globe were coming to the India for studying hard and understand the things, technology. Many Vedas and Purans have already been taught, and nobody has bothered about it. So how could be the Viksit Bharat could be envisioned without much emphasis on the technology, without the much emphasis on the education system, that too on the outcome-based education. And outcome-based education, we need the infrastructure like this, right?
True, true, true. Very valid point, sir. And that's something which definitely is a dream of a lot of people. I think it should definitely come to true, and like, most of the institutions and the government itself is working towards achieving that particular goal. Yeah. Now again, quickly, Mr. Pratap, one more last question to you before we kind of close the panel. Like, yeah, so one last question each. Just want to understand, like, since we already spoke about AI being kind of recommending or like relevant learning content, right? So how can AI be used to create dynamic learning pathway for students on their individual performance or like learning style and interest, basically to optimize their learning journey?
Okay. So, first of all, I second whatever Mr. Pankaj Kumar was saying.
Yes.
Definitely. It doesn't matter whether you're learning from Cambridge. Of course, they have their unique value. I'm not commenting on that, but learning for the purpose, what it makes is really what end of the day, what are the skills you gain, where you are implementing the same is what it counts in basically. So the education system, definitely the students need to have a very good shift on that. Thanks, Pankaj, for that. A really wonderful thing. So coming to your point, yes, but we can on dynamic learning pathways, we can consider multiple scenarios. For example, take mathematics learning platform. So you see that there is a scenario like an AI-powered mathematics learning platform assesses a student initial performance and identifies a preference for hands-on learning. So the
Yes.
system detects that the student excels in algebra but struggles with geometry, let us say. Now, dynamically, what we can do, the learning pathway, the AI system adapts by incorporating some interactive simulations and real-world applications for geometry concepts. So it provides additional practice problems with immediate feedback. As the student improves, the system dynamically introduces more challenging geometry topics and seamlessly integrates with them with some algebraic principles, let us say that.
Good.
So considering the second scenario, we can say like language learning gap. So in the context of this scenario is it recognizes that a user prefers auditory learning and has a particular interest in travel and culture, let us say. So the system observes strong performance in vocabulary, but weakness in grammatical structures. So the pathway comes here is that the AI, the specific system, tailors the learning experience by emphasizing audio lessons, incorporating travel themed language scenarios, and integrating cultural insights. So again, for any challenges on grammar, the system suggests like interactive exercises with some contextual application explanations. And while the student keeps on progressing, the app adapts to introduce more complex grammatical concepts while maintaining an engaging travel and culture focus.
Yes.
So the other scenario where we can consider is STEM. So in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics educational games, like the AI system monitors a student's gameplay interactions. So the system identifies a knack for problem solving, but struggles with a specific type of mathematical reasoning. So the dynamic way the AI can adjust the game challenges to target the specific mathematical reasoning area where the student is facing difficulties. So it provides in-game hints, feedback, and mini tutorials tailored to the identified challenges. As the student masters the skill, the game dynamically introduced more advanced STEM concepts that can align with their problem-solving strengths part. So like this, there are many such kind of scenarios in we can consider like science exploration platforms. Many are they're on the way to conclude with part.
Okay. Thank you for that quick answer, Mr. Pratap. Now, considering time, I'll quickly move on with my next question to Miss Vicky. So, in terms of content curation and creation, right? So basically, how can an LMS platform facilitate the integration of multimedia content or interactive materials and real world application to enhance the overall learning experience, like in terms of curating the content itself?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for the question. A very nice question, actually. So I have to say, LMS is playing a losing game here, at least, speaking for the US environment. I used to be tenured faculty in an R1 university in the US, and frankly, professors in an R1 university, they're not educators, they're researchers. So
Okay.
for better or worse, they don't have the time.
Okay.
And on the other end, I have worked with several financial educational institutions right now, and every single one of them has a different LMS. So that means the learning curve, but most of them also look like, honestly, a database interface.
Okay.
And our students are not looking for that. Our students are, the young people that are used to the internet looking beautiful. So what has helped me personally, and that's what I know I'm going to share. First thing first, templates that look good. So I'm going to go to what Mr. Franca said as pre-COVID and after COVID. I learned about templates during COVID. You can just, copy a beautifully designed course skeleton and have something that actually looks like it's, addressed to a normal person nowadays. And that makes a huge difference. Now, templates made a huge difference for me. The other thing that made a huge difference for me, especially with video creation, it's a tool that works. So I've been with LMSs that had their own video creation tool, and please don't reinvent the wheel, So it was a half-working tool that would crash half the time. There are good tools out there. Try to integrate with existing tools. And I see nowadays here, you know what? AI can edit your videos for you. Please, 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 please do that. Yeah. There are things that say, for example, closed captioning, which is a requirement by law here. We cannot upload videos that don't have closed captioning.
Okay.
At COVID, that was a problem. So essentially, for me, templates, use tools that work. Don't try to create your own because it's a learning curve.
Yes.
Use AI. If you can take video editing from me, I'm gonna love you. And the other thing is, usually LMSs work in silos. This is my content. This is the other professor content. At least within an institution, the ability to reuse other people's material would be fantastic.
Very, very a valuable point, actually. Like, so I think that actually put a very important point in as well. Like, so basically, the content has to be interactive. The system itself has to look gamified for people to actually go ahead and show some interest rather than boring like a database management system or like a content repository where you have all the content loaded and it's kind of boring for a young person to go and start learning. So yeah, it actually makes sense. Thank you for that lovely answer, Miss Vicky. So our final question in this segment is again for Mr. Pankaj. Mr. Pankaj, so I just want to understand like your understanding on with the increase in this reliance of cloud-based LMS solutions, right? Like, so you have a lot of LMS which are cloud-based currently. So how can organization ensure that security and privacy of their data is kind of like kept because that's paramount important, right? Like, so especially considering recent cybersecurity threats which have been happening throughout the globe. So what is your idea or like what is your understanding on that?
Very well, paused. It is again a time of need of an hour. And if you think about technology always helps us. But some of the time, technology can make yourself in trouble also.
True.
Right? Many dark shaded pupil are working to breach your security and all.
True, sir.
These days, deep fake is also going on. Right? In my voice, if I'm saying something on this audio, somebody can record and maybe some abusing other kind of objectionable materials can be paused with my videos, but the sound could be different. So we all heard about this news, like the deep fake is going on, the artificial intelligence is abused and used very wrongly. And also the data is not secured, especially when we talk about the local server or a normal cloud-based server. So multi-layered, kind of security is very, very important, right? Multi-factor authentications is again a very important tool. So multi-factor authentication adds an extra layer of protection, restricting unauthorized access. Then compliance with data protection regulations such as GDPR ensures that the user privacy is prioritized. Additionally, organizations should partner with reputable cloud service providers that have a strong track record in security and offer comprehensive data protection measures, including regular backups and disaster recovery plans, educating users about cybersecurity best practices, about also plays a crucial role in maintaining a secure LMS environment.
Right.
So these are the various things which is very, very important.
True.
But again, sensitization of the users, maybe the student, maybe the faculty member, maybe the staff members about the cyber threats are again very, very important and again challenging also. Right? Today we face a small challenges that whenever somebody is writing an email, it has been delivered to the user, but with some other name. For example, a pro vice chancellor is writing an email, but it looks like the DSW has sent. So that kind of problem is there. That means some kind of security threats are there. So
yes.
Once we talk about the infrastructure, which was the physical, which was the need of 90s and 20th century. But in the 21st century, especially after the COVID, uh, when the content curation is there, Vicky was just pointed that she has
True.
done the content curated during COVID. So during COVID, lots of faculty has been done. So this content is again belonging to the individual faculty and belonging to the individual organization. So what about the security of this content? Right? Anybody can copy and paste and collect it. Your PPTs can be also. So the lots of
Yeah.
concerns are there. So that kind of security can be over there with the LMS. That is again a need of an hour. And if some concerns are there made on this, that to secure our intellectual property. Again, intellectual property is not only those could be patented, but if I'm making some content for my class, this could also protect the property.
Yes.
So maybe it could not be protected in that way, but it should be at least protected that some kind of deep fake algorithm could not be run over there. So that's a very, very important concern you have raised. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you for those insights again, Mr. Pankaj. I think, yeah, it's very important that privacy and data security also has to be taken into consideration, considering all the cyber threats which are happening recently. And exactly like you mentioned, yeah, there are multiple way two-factor authentication and like certain steps which every organization or like solution provider can take in securing the data of the institution itself. Now, again, I would actually want to thank all the panelists for your valuable insights and predictions today. It's been an enlightening discussion. Again, I would again want to encourage everybody who has been part of today's session to go ahead and try out our LMS solution, which is called as Adroit LMS. You can reach out to us as well in case if you need any additional information regarding to the solution. Now, thanks once again, panelists and our audience for being the part of wonderful webinar. You have actually participation and thought contribution have made the discussion truly enriching. We look forward to having much more engaging conversation in future and contributing to the landscape of education and technology. Thank you, everyone. Again, have a great day, Vicky, Pankaj, and Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciating the
Thanks
efforts
Thank
of
you.
the editors and all the panelists. Thank you very much for joining
Yeah,
once
man.
again.
Even the
Dr.
same with me,
Thank
like
you.
Dr.
well,
Murali.